Welcome back to the Jagged Edge. 5 in a row. Javal, how are you doing today?
Um, 6-2. I didn't think we'd be here, but we're 6-2.
Yeah, how
Uh,
did we get here? I still don't believe we
we
got
won.
here.
We just didn't lose in the month of October. We just didn't 5 games, 5 dubs in October. September Jags, but October Jags? That's what matters. So
I know. Big turnaround for where we were. Me in a tank top, depressed as hell. I still can't believe I did that 90-second recap of the Texans game. Just put it as a
what
freaking
Texans
episode.
what Texans game are you talking about?
Oh yeah. Long gone from our
I
memories.
don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but a lot of talk, a lot of noise throughout last week, and just another Jaguars dub. What can we really say?
I didn't. You're the
I was the
optimistic one.
opt
I did not believe so. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're okay. Yeah, I was the optimistic one though. We're gonna say you were kind of stop start there on your end.
So I'm glad that, for both our sakes that you were the one who got to be right at the end of the day. I'll eat crow on that. So we'll be okay.
Yeah, man.
I'm feeling good though.
Every statistical category, I said they're bottom five or bottom 10. This is not a good football team. Like I said too, we made it harder on ourselves than we needed it to be, but we take the dubs in the end. It's all that matters. We just take the dubs. I can't hear you, Javal.
Oh wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay, sorry. I was asking, how are you feeling after the Steelers? I guess before and after the Steelers game, during the game itself as a whole, because I didn't watch too much of it. I was like, I think maybe that's why they won. Like I was like, okay, I have Red Zone on. I was watching Red Zone with some friends. So like I was watching parts of the game. Like, like I'll see the parts that are on Red Zone.
Hmm.
So like nothing of the game was on
But you're
Red
the
Zone.
birthday boy. You should be like, I'm the birthday boy. We just watched Jaguars football.
Yeah.
You will all suffer with me, especially that first half. I'm glad you did actually get to
No,
watch it.
I
The
didn't
first
I
half
didn't
was
want I didn't want people to sit there and watch a Jag Steelers game like 4 hours. Like if there was Red Zone. I mean, honestly, the whole slate as a whole was not that whole slate was not great as a whole. There is the most okay funny story.
uh-oh.
So like when I was watching the game, there was like a group of like it was like a large group of people. I think like from New York. There was like Giants and Jets fans, and they were watching the Giants and Jets game that was like above us. So, and the game itself was I was watching the end of that game, quite possibly one of the most hilarious football games I've ever
I
watched.
no, it's
It
it's
was
crazy that
13-10.
Giants and Jets game. I told Bree, that yeah, Giants are gonna win this game because I didn't expect them to miss the close range field goal. And when they did, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, Zach Wilson is gonna drive down the field to field goal range with no timeouts at 40. Oh my God, what the fuck is going on? I just like no, there's no oh no,
I
Giants, why?
that was just a hilarious slate of football as a whole. So, but I'm glad. I don't want people to watch just Jag Steelers except for like outside of the ETN touchdown and the Pickens like there was like nothing on red zone in the second half.
That's
But
funny.
I mean, from what I did see, obviously, I still haven't seen the Trevor interception. I heard it
It was
was
bad.
terrible, so I'm just going to refuse to watch it. I know it was terrible. It was like first and goal, and he just threw. I can describe the play, but in order for my sanity, I'm not going to watch the play. So therefore, out of sight, out of mind. So I know he had a bad interception. Other than that, they were getting some good completions, like aggressive down the field. Obviously they had the huge ETN touchdown, which is probably his longest career reception, I want to say. I mean, that's
Yeah,
probably might just be his career long scrimmage like touchdown as a whole.
I don't think
So
so. I think he had the longer one against the Texans last year, if I
no,
remember correctly.
it was close, yeah, but we're starting to see ETN just really be a consistent guy, like, and even just I think. Obviously, it wasn't a super complex route, but just being able to split out wide, catch it in stride, and go run all the way. Not a lot of running backs can do that on top of what he's been able to do. So he's just been such a well-rounded running back this year. Um,
Pretty sure he scored a
Ridley,
touchdown every game in this win streak, has he? Or is it like the last four games?
did he score? I'm trying to remember. Did he score a touchdown versus Atlanta? Because I think that's the only game he didn't score a
Yeah,
touchdown.
so it's the last four games. He had three straight multi-game touchdown
Yeah,
days,
and then
and
he
then
had
the one
so he's had yeah 7 touchdowns in
four
4
games.
games, which is absurd. Great. Yeah, that's crazy to hear. So Travis has been huge. We had a good Ridley game. Ingram did have the fumble early on, but he was still, pretty efficient. Had a huge catch. It was like 1st and 20, and then he just like basically ran for like 25 yards. So
Yeah.
yeah, shout out to
Yeah,
Ingram.
safety. Yeah, safety just missed the that's what I'm saying. That touchdown was the safety just over like undershot the
Yeah,
route,
that
and
that
then Trevor's like,
Trevor
all right.
that honestly reminded me, I think when we faced the Steelers in the preseason, 2022, like the first year when Trevor had like the little Matumbo wave. I think it was versus the
Hmm.
Steelers, if I'm not mistaken, because that was
Yeah.
like a preseason game. And like, just kind of how it was like it was very similar because when Trevor after before he did that, it was kind of a similar type throw. It was like over the corner and the safety. Like it was just far. It was a dangerous throw because it was a very tight window, but it worked. And he did a little finger wag. So that was funny that he had a touchdown in a very similar kind of throw where he has to really layer that over 2 defenders for ETN to get it in stride quick. Not only did he see the play quickly because I think it was designed to go to Ridley once Joey Porter bit, and then I think KZ the safety like try to play a little bit underneath. He was like, "Yeah, I got this," and then ETN did the rest. So that's just the offense. Tank did have that fumble, which people were saying the possession wasn't down, but his knee wasn't down, but then it got overturned. So
Sorry, I'm getting
um,
distracted. So yeah, if anybody just looks at me looking up, there's a
that's no problem.
Newcastle match. So I'm just like had a shot, didn't go in. It's don't matter. Sorry, that's not Dominic keep cutting you off, Javal.
It's okay. I can talk a lot. You just watch Newcastle and just sit there. Um, but I think the offense, even though they definitely they still found ways to shoot themselves in the foot, especially Trevor on that one interception, which I won't even watch. 20 points with 3 turnovers is pretty good against, a not like the secondary for Pittsburgh isn't great, especially once Mako went out, but they still have a good front seven that can control the game. So I think the O line, probably played a solid game considering, the competition and the standard, So um yeah, dude, it was I guess good game. That's just the offense. We didn't even talk about the disrespect that
The
is
Hope
Dewey Winger.
defense.
Oh,
The
the
Hope
whole
defense.
defense.
The home defense.
Oh,
I guess I'll talk about the defense a bit, but before that, I was gonna say I think Trevor Lawrence had the most quiet 290-yard passing game I ever seen. It's just
if he didn't
like
have that stupid turnover, then it would just look so much better. But
hey man. Yeah, that's football. You just gotta take, what the defense gives you. And unfortunately Trevor just wanted to throw in triple coverage in the 5 yard line. Why? I don't know, but it is what it is. But yeah, our defense, shout out to them. They gave no quarter. The amount of three and outs, whether that's because of a Matt Canada offense, whether it's because Kenny Pickett got hurt, whether the refs wanted to screw them over.
okay, can we talk about that? The one thing I did watch was like the field goal before halftime. What was
Yeah. No, that
I've
was
never
yeah, that was so messy, but also so hilarious at the same time. So
I'm just like, wow, this like it's funny because the Jags offense has had some, bad moments. But even like in the game, like when they don't turn over, they function or they turn it over. The Steelers offense, man, they did not function.
yeah,
But
we gave them the ball three times and they only took 3 points off of our turnovers. Like you can say all you want about referees. Oh, they want like okay. Newsflash, I never thought that any other NFL franchise would think that the rest would help us. The fucking Jacksonville Jaguars of all teams would want us to win games. So hey, if there's a first for everything, I'll fucking take it. But just because of my 17 plus years of watching this goddamn football team, I don't think the refs are gonna help us out whatsoever.
Yeah,
So
national
the
media still doesn't
baby
even
shit
like
soft
us.
Steeler fans, yeah, and the national media guys that don't put respect in their name, we're not supposed to care though. We've always had that Duval versus all y'all mentality, and we each then that locker room especially knows that respect is earned and not given. So as long as the season goes on, and hopefully we keep racking up more victories throughout the season, then maybe that respect is finally earned. But I think this locker room knows, especially that defense knows that that doesn't happen unless you get to that point where you want to be competing for a Super Bowl. Hopefully you are in the Super Bowl come February. But hey, I'm getting too ahead of myself. The defense, the Hope defense, according to George Pickens, 10 points allowed, a few sacks. Trayvon got a sack early on. Josh Allen got his sack too. So hey, like a couple turn, like just the one pick. Andrew Wingard, which gave us another fantastic Steelers Jaguars GIF. Like I don't
Oh,
know how they're the team we always get like an iconic Jaguars moment from, but the fact that the entire defense ran to the stands to steal a couple terrible towels just to wave around and just slam it
Ray
onto the
Sean
field.
slapping that towel on the ground is just that's amazing, dude. Oh man.
I know everybody got up so up in arms about their little towels, man. Their little yellow
Dude, they
towels.
were so mad before the game when Trevor like they took the one quote about Trevor calling it tiny towels out of context after he was like, great environment Gate Stadium, and they
Mhm.
were salty, the
They
ones who
try to
just
make
didn't
something out
read.
of nothing. They try to make
And
something
then
out of nothing.
do all that and then top of Ho defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was very vindicated.
Baby shit soft football organization, baby shit soft football fans in Pittsburgh, and all the bandwagon fans that they have around them to only show up a baby shit, fucking offense on Sunday against the fucking Hope defense that your star wide receiver decided to call, you know.
Great. I'm just watching Gray Sean just slap the towel on the
I
ground
can
and
watch that
just
over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like, come on, man. That's just it's Duval mentality to a T. It's funny because Bree saw for the first time that old clip, another clip way before your time of Mike Peterson in 2006 with the ESPN intro saying "Welcome to Duval, prepare to be hit." It's like that's just Duval mentality to a T. We don't make threats, we make promises. This defense is kind of living up to that like old smash mouth hit you in the mouth defense, or like that 2017 just dog mentality. It's just we've always kind of had that identity for a long time, but to combine it with an offense that feels like that can score 30 points a game if they just stop making dumb fucking
stop shooting
mistakes.
themselves in the
Yeah.
foot.
It's like the sky, it seems like it's the limit. Like I said, am I getting too ahead of myself? I don't know, but I feel like the sky is the fucking limit. As long as the defense continues to play lights out as they have been through the first half of the season.
Yeah, I think even if, the defense curtails a little bit, well, I still think they'll be good versus the run. Even if, the turnovers slow down a little bit, which I still think turnovers happening because they've just been aggressive. I think the offense still has so much more room to get better. And, I think it being the bye week is the perfect time, for the offense. Like, I mean, just the team as a whole to kind of be like, okay, oh, did Newcastle score?
Miguel Almiron, come on. Yes. But yeah,
I'm sorry. If
sorry.
you're a man, if you're a man, you
Manchester United fan, you're in the mud. Eric Ten Hag's a fucking fraud. There's like at least one of you guys that like soccer to actually agree or hopefully disagree with me because you're a Manchester United fan. But come on, get it. Sorry, go Rich Ball.
but yeah, like I was just saying, the fact that this team, I think it's a perfect time for the bye week. Obviously, like kind of smack dab at the middle of the season, have time to heal up for the stretch run. Obviously, with guys a little banged up like Tyson, like Zay, like Cisco, those guys who the Jags didn't have some of those players were still winning games. if they get some of those players back, which I mean, I think with Zay, we'll see if he's back. He's the only one who I think probably won't play.
Yeah,
But
Demetrius said it's still a little bit away, if I remember correctly, from looking at tweets during the trade deadline stuff.
yeah, so but we'll see when Zay comes back. But good chance that Tyson, good chance Cisco come back. We'll, Walker, we'll see what they do with him. Now, they made a move at the trade deadline, which we'll get to in a little bit, but it's a good time for the team. They get to heal up. Hopefully the offense gets to whatever voodoo magic that they did like at the bye last year, when they just got a lot better. Because I think the bye week was about the same time, but the Jazz are 2-6 and then kind of stumbled and then got off to a hot streak because they just played a lot better. So if the Jags can already learn how to win games and just say, hey, you can magically just get the dumb mistakes. Like just, I'm fine with one turnover. Like just get to one turnover a game or less.
Hopefully none. I mean, that's an
I mean, yeah,
ideal world
hopefully
though.
every
Yeah.
offense, every
Yeah.
offense
Strives
aims
to
for
like
no turnovers. Things just happen in the NFL, which
there's
you
too
get
much
that.
talent on all NFL teams. Even the worst team has talent. So they're just trying to limit those mistakes as much as we
So,
can.
you know, now that the coaching staff has, another week to prepare, we'll see. So, I think, just in terms of the coaching, we'll see if Press can continue to gel because I think the play calling has gotten a little bit better. Obviously, when you
Hmm.
win five straight games, there's not too many complaints. Like, it's definitely improved, but it's not at its full potential. It's not its full peak yet. But the
For
lowest points
sure.
he scored over this win streak has been 20. So we didn't score 20 points in our two losses.
And there
So,
was like the worst weather conditions possible, like super wet, super nasty, super kind of cold for the people that did go to Pittsburgh. So,
you know, the fact that they were able to, they're still able to put up points while they're getting turnovers and still in a very dumb way. Once you can hopefully clean up those turnovers, you'll really see this team can just truly hit into its stride because if the offense cleans things up after the bye week and the defense was at its level, this team could, have be like a I don't want to say too high for them. I mean, we'll see how high they go with the wins, because if they play like this, there's not a team they can't beat down the stretch if they play at their best. Like they
yeah.
could realistically go 6 or 2, 7-2 down the stretch, if they play as because when you're already on a winning streak, you want to keep that same mentality going. Um, Now's a good time to really stay healthy, attack, improve your weaknesses, and just continue to gel as a team. Hopefully, everybody stays healthy. But just looking at the schedule, I mean, obviously, there's the good teams, 49ers, Titans are going to be a weird team. Texans again,
Hmm.
Bengals, like there's still teams on the schedule that the Jags can lose to if they're not on their A game. But if they're on their A game, I think if they're on their A game, they're one of the best teams in the NFL, which is crazy to sound. Because even when they haven't been at their best, they're still winning games.
Which is crazy, honestly.
They've played like a B tier team all year, and like everyone in the I know the whole offense knows they can do so much more. You know, the offense, like the defense knows is playing great. The offense knows, especially considering Doug knows for like he's an offensive guy. Him and Press know there's so much more meat left on the bone that once they figure out how to get everything rolling, they know the offense will be even better. So from there, at that point on, it feels good, man. Buys at a great time. Vibes are at an all-time high. Life is good. You know what I mean?
Life is definitely good. But like I said, to your point with the schedule, I think 7-2 is I think it underplays it because all the good teams, barring like Cleveland, I think, and yeah, I guess the Texans divisional game,
I mean, yeah. If one of
but
those two
they're an
losses is
elite
probably
defense, but they're an elite defense still. The offense
one
is
of.
left much to be desired, but that defense is top five, if not top three
Oh
in
yeah. I mean,
the whole league. So Hey, listen, all those good teams that are left on the schedule, San Francisco, Cincinnati, Baltimore, they're all coming here to Jacksonville. That's the one thing that we have going on too. All those like good teams that people would put maybe in the top 10 in the power rankings, if you did power rankings right now, they're all coming here to Jacksonville. They got to come to here to play. And hopefully, barring I guess the Niners game, because I already seen ticket prices for the Niners game being ridiculous. So I know it's gonna be a lot of red in a couple of weeks. That hey man, they all got to come here still. They got to play in Jacksonville and just try to get a win away from us. And that's yes, it's very tough, especially since the team has won so much with so many different environments over the past 5 weeks. Like especially during that stretch until from the London games to Atlanta, this team feels like it can do anything and try to reciprocate that back at home. We saw that they put on a show last time we saw them here in Jackson against the Colts. So
Yeah,
hey
I mean
man,
that probably was their best game of the year, and even in that game they didn't play their best, but not a surprise that that was at home. So, we'll see. I don't know if I'll be able to make it to that 49ers game, but I will definitely be there at the Titans game for sure. Then probably yeah, that Texans game. So, oh man, it's a good feeling. I guess the one thing going to the trade deadline is say Labs are at an all-time high. It could have been even all-time high. I don't want to say all-time high because some fans are still oh, the Newcastle.
Loomis Hall, the fucking kid, let's go. Sorry. This is such a shit show, but it was a fantastic goal. Oh my goodness. Let's go. Sorry. Keep going. I'm sorry, Jamal. I never expected this.
Just like the Jags. We
Hey
never
man, vibes are
expected.
good. Vibes are good.
But yeah,
Newcastle, they drew, but hey, last game, but come on, against the fucking cup final last year, they're replaying. So this is a big one. This is a big one. Go for it.
but yeah, I was just saying, the vibes could have been even better if, the trade deadline we did not get Chase Young or Sweat, which I mean those two trades I'm okay with not trading for like I mean obviously with the Ridley trade you couldn't use a second, third or fourth this year anyways. There was the Saints fourth round pick we could trade, but out that that's probably your best bargaining chip. But you could probably get something decent with it, which Montez Sweat going for a Chicago second is a little bit rich for me, but
Yeah,
Chase.
and
Of course, we have to face Chase Young off the bye week because he was like, "Oh, we got to stop the Jags." They made this. They're so afraid of the Ezra Cleveland fortified O line that they just needed to trade for Chase Young, which I wish we could have traded for Chase Young, but they had a third round pick. It was like it was a comp third, so basically early fourth, but we didn't get our comp third yet back. So 49ers, I think it was like they used that for like the GM hire from the Titans. So this is all the
mhm.
Titans' fault. Oh my gosh. This is why I hate the Titans. If they didn't hire Rand Carthon, the Niners wouldn't have had the comp picks to trade for Chase Young.
Hey man, don't matter. What does Trevor Lawrence say whenever he gets hit? He doesn't care. I don't care either. I don't care. I
Yeah,
don't
it'll be
care. We're
good.
we're
But
beating them by like 20, 25 anyways. It doesn't matter.
I mean,
Brock
yeah,
Purdy does
we've
not
already
scare
we've already
me.
played Brock Purdy once on the schedule, and that was Gardner Minshew. So
He does not scare me. But
he's either
that's more for next week. But yeah, no, that defense is pretty scary on paper. But what did Trevor Lawrence also say? Game's not played on paper. So
yeah, I mean, but obviously it would have been nice for them to get another pass rusher to replace.
yeah, but they like what they like.
The Jags know that they want us to suffer, so they're like, let's put Chase on the field just to potentially torment not only the fans but specifically us. So,
And
um,
the chase for five is still it's still down to three. Oh boy, we're still waiting for when he gets a game stealing
I,
sack.
I'm just I'm not gonna okay. How are we feeling about this? Because it's
Oh,
not
this
impossible,
halfway.
and
It's not
it's not
impossible.
I'm
It's
a little bit
improbable,
scared.
but it's not. This is right. This is
1%
the true.
chance,
This is the true.
99% faith.
This is the true litmus test of how this season will go, is if Chase Song can get to 5 sacks before the end
If
of the
Ch-
year
if we have to get the Sat Guru jerseys, then we
for
know
the
the season will
playoffs. For
this
the fucking playoff game.
dude,
Oh no.
watch he's gonna be at like 2.5 at like the last game of the season, and then he goes off versus like the Titans. He goes off for like 4 sacks.
I will I don't
I
know at
would be
that
so
point. I would already be broke from holiday shopping, but the fact that you're gonna make me pay $200 for a custom jersey
I,
plus shipping is absolutely mad to think about.
it's there's a chance that he hits those. I mean, if the offense starts clicking like I think it will, then I
The
think
defense will be on. They're gonna have to pass rush more.
so. We'll see that. But yeah, I guess going back to the trade deadline, even though we didn't get a pass rusher, they did get another interior offensive lineman, which
Left
I feel like
guard.
everybody I feel
Biggest
like
need, I felt like. Yeah.
everyone in the league could use more O line. So the fact that the Jags were able to get a starting offensive lineman for a 6th round pick, and I mean, I don't think Ezra Cleveland is the best guard of all time. He certainly had his. I think last year he allowed the third most pressures last year, but he played a lot better this year. He is injured like a foot injury, but I'm pretty sure he had to pass the physical, so like the team wouldn't trade him anyways, even if he was injured. So they're pretty. I feel like there's no way like he won't be healthy, after the bye, especially with the bye week too.
Yeah.
So perfect. That's like perfect timing for this bye week. Like you have a time to let a new acquisition kind of
Yeah, settle
get
in.
used to. Yeah, so it's perfect, literally perfect timing, both for us and the Niners, which is hilarious. Are playing each other off the bye, but I guess everyone's even. But John, obviously, I don't know if you've been watching Ezra Cleveland all 22 film,
Oh,
but
never. But
I
I
guess
mean,
just what do you think, like in terms of how this O line will shake out, and just the fact that the Jags are even ag- aggressive enough to say, "Hey, we want to upgrade the offensive line."
yeah, so I feel like it was like a necessary move, especially since even in the Pittsburgh game, especially very good pass rush that they have with both Highsmith and TJ Watt on the other side. They did do a good job, but there's still times where Trevor took big, nasty shots. I think there was a big completion to Christian Kirk where Trevor Lawrence got absolutely like fucking he got hit hard on the release of the throw, but he still got it completed. So, you don't want your quarterback to ever take hits. More O-line depth, the merrier. Left guard's kind of been a rotating carousel. Had I think 3 different starters throughout the season, and Ben Barch and Tyler Shatley, Walker Little. I believe that's the 3 starters for left guard this year. And to be fact that you could be adding a fourth who has been starting the whole season, I believe for the Vikings, that you can't hate it. You can't at all. I think a lot of people on Twitter, especially Jagger fans, like just seen some kind of like the true highlights of Ezra Cleveland, where he's just like finding like during the pass protection, especially we're just looking for bodies to like pancake on the ground. So that's fun, especially we feel like we need more interior help more than anything because the tackles seem pretty good, and Cam Robinson or Walker Little and Anton on the other side. So the fact that they're, looking for more O-line help. And I don't know which reporter said, I think it was Shipley who said they basically turned Laviska Shenault into Ezra Cleveland. I'll take that any time of the week.
That's a W. So,
Balky
uh,
ball. Shout out
that
to the Jaguar report.
yeah,
We need to get one
Minnesota,
of them on one
you just
day.
got bulky walled.
Exactly.
I mean, just in terms of, well, first of all, rest in peace, Smoothie King.
Yeah, I know. What a meme. One
I,
of the
I
last casualties of the Dave Caldwell era Jaguars.
I will say I was surprised that they cut Barch and they didn't cut like, a guy further down the depth chart, considering that he at least even though he didn't play great as a starter, the
He
fact
did
that
start a
he,
couple games for us.
I was surprised they didn't cut like Cole Van Lannon or one of the like the
I
depth.
think I think it's because it wasn't one of Balky's guys, because he was brought in during the Cave Caldwell era, and Balky did use the draft pick to acquire Cole Van Lannon's. It's along those
I
lines of
mean,
like,
obviously, I wasn't in the O-line room. I'm not lamenting the fact that we lost Ben Barch. I'm just more so a little bit surprised that you cut a guy who actually started compared to somebody who was on the bench. He wasn't in competition for the starting job. You
yeah.
feel me?
Shout
Like
out Ben Barsh. I sold him a pack of Zens at my Wawa one time.
he won't be going back to
Earlier
that Wawa
right before
anymore.
training camp. I know. Rest in peace. Uh,
I will remember
remember
you.
you.
I'll go to Smoothie King in your in your honor.
Smoothie King does sound pretty good right now. Not sponsored. If you want to, though. I mean, we did look at the Smoothie King Center when we were there in New Orleans,
I
though.
did
So
get a
kind of
smoothie
ironic.
from the airport in New
Oh, did
Orleans.
you?
That was
I
pretty
got
good.
it from the I did get one at the Riverwalk outlet malls from Smoothie King. Shout out to Smoothie King. Very
But
good stuff.
yeah, please sponsor us, Smoothie King. But yeah, just I think the fact that they were able to, well, not only were they look at their O line or like, we could use whether it's a depth or another starter, we'll see. But the fact that, they recognize the weakness and were like, hey, we need to play better on the O line.
Hmm.
And here's a long term starter. Actually, dude, I didn't even realize if you look up his relative athletic score,
Yeah,
he's like the he's
yeah.
the third most athletic guard of all time.
Yeah, which is crazy. We just got a pure athlete there protecting Trevor Lawrence now. Whether that means anything, I don't know. I'm a big RES whore too. So when I saw that 9.98, I was like, holy shit, get him in the lineup now. As
Yeah,
much
dude.
as I want Walker Little back in there, it's just like, bro,
I'm
if
looking
he's still not good, then put Ezra Cleveland in there now. Just stuff him in there now.
I'm looking at his like mock draftable. Like his hand, he has like literally the tiniest hands. Like quite tiny. It's
Kenny
funny because
Pickett?
his mock draft. No, dude, his mock draft is kind of like Pac-Man. It's like one like little chomp. Like his hand size is 2%. And then everything else is like out his physicals like the 50s or higher. 96 40-yard dash, 74 vertical jump, 89% broad jump, 97% three cone, 94 20-yard shuttle with 82 reps on the bench press, dude. That's actually hilarious. Like his mock draftable. But
Just gave some Kenny Pickett hands, but just the sliders are all up everywhere else physically. So
yeah, that's like,
fair enough.
he had to have one thing as like a negative. So, but other than that, so I think
Or
that
does that
can
help
help.
because he won't be called for holding because he has tiny hands, so they can't call the holding if he's holding onto a jersey. I'm gonna say that now he's gonna get a holding call first time we see him on the field. Oh, I don't know. Because offensive line, it's not really the stuff you really look for whenever you're at a game or something. But if it doesn't pop up, if his name doesn't pop up to reason why Trevor Lawrence gets hit or whatever, hey, that works out for us either way.
I mean, yeah, I think the vibe from Vikings fans is that he was like average at like worst, but he wasn't playing a lot better this year. So,
Mhm.
we'll see how they translate because he was playing left guard this year. So obviously he could slot right in depending on what Walker does. I'm curious now if, well, two things I'm curious going back to like the athleticism, and I think that can open more things on the ground, use him as a puller more, get him out in space. I remember on the ETN Wildcat touchdown he had versus the Colts, like the 18-yarder, there
Mhm.
was a great block by Fortner getting ETN out in space, letting him just kind of, do things like that. So if you can let another athletic guard, because Scherf is a good puller, but obviously he's a little bit banged up right now. So
Yeah.
if you obviously Scherf is great, but you can have more versatility with the offensive line and just more depth. Now it's crazy because Walker Little might honestly be the best offensive lineman on this team,
Yeah.
and he might not play, which is kind of crazy.
But if it's working, it's working. It's crazy since
I mean,
it's crazy since I think Cam Robinson is a solid left tackle, but just the mentality he brings when you see like these sounds of the game or you
yeah,
just
the
hear him
the
talk, it's
camp.
like, yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I saw Cam mic'd up. I see why this team. Like I do, I did. Cam, I'm not familiar with your game, bro. I
yeah.
apologize.
There's the way he talks and the way that he's just a dog. It's just like, damn, all right, fair play, Cam. But please don't get Trevor hit like he did against Detroit last year. I just please. I'm just low key. Just no, please don't. But we're just nitpicking. We're a 6-2 team trying to find things to nitpick at. To like, I don't know. Like I said, we couldn't move a pass rusher because they didn't want to give up a fourth round pick, or they can't even move their third or second because of the compensatory requirements for the Calvin Ridley deal. So hey, I mean, what can you do?
I mean, I'm just glad that they're able to get like a legitimate starting offensive lineman for a
Hmm.
6th round pick. And, quite because honestly, the biggest problem was the interior offensive line. Like that was the biggest weakness on this team. Obviously, I think everyone wanted a pass rusher, but that was because, you're not likely to find offensive linemen available in the first place because
Hmm.
teams don't let most good guys go. So the fact that not only were they able to get an offensive lineman, but I mean he is expiring after this year, but then again, so is Barch. Like there's other guys. He was expiring after this year, but the fact that they're able to get him in the system, see what he can do. Worst case, if he plays really well, you probably get a comp pick from him. Like if he plays good at if he plays at a good enough level because he's an offensive lineman, if he gets paid, you're probably going to get a 4th round pick anyway. So trading a 6th round pick for a starter that could then turn into a 4th round pick, that's bulky ball right there.
You really, yeah, fair enough. I did like the trade a lot too, but like I said, the defense they probably were comfortable with because Trayvon is starting to get a lot more pressures throughout the second quarter of the season, and hopefully after the bye we could just kind of all comes down together. So I don't know because when you look at stats, I mean, we were talking, everybody compares him to Aiden Hutchinson, and the stats aren't too far off, I believe. I think like four and a
He
half
has,
to 3.5. And then for sacks, TFLs are similar. Tackles are kind of close too. It's just like, and Trayvon's definitely a better presence in the run defense.
oh
So,
yeah,
hey, I mean, I'm not going to say it's a push because, Hutchinson is just a pressure monster, but hey, the
it's.
numbers don't lie. It's
I mean,
kind of there.
I think for what it's worth, Trayvon fits the defense because Mike Caldwell's philosophy is so heavily focused
Stop the
on
run,
winning
stop the
first
run.
down, stop
Yeah.
the run. And, he's been quite literally a dog versus the run, who's, still been able to have some flashes here and there. So yeah, that's been nice. We'll see how everything comes together. One tidbit I didn't even realize, well, I forgot to mention was that Pete Rauscher was the O-line coach for in Minnesota when they drafted Cleveland like the first 2 years of his career. So there's already some familiarity. So I think in terms of the scheme and the play calls you might from the playbook,
Hmm.
but you have a same offensive line coach, you already have some principles, especially when you start your career with. It'll kind of be like going back to the roots. So hopefully it's a good transition. Um, we'll see if
He's gonna
he
be
ends
the
up
one.
starting
Yeah.
because with Walker's injury, they said he was active on game day, but they still didn't start him.
Hmm.
So, but now, you have Shatley back as the backup, or maybe if Fortner doesn't play great, you have Shatley at center, possibly. It really depends on what they're looking for because I think Fortner like is better in space, like with the ETN touchdown, but Shatley's a little bit stronger. Not like insanely strong, but you can anchor a little better. So, but
Yeah.
maybe you could have see Cam, Ezra, Fortnite slash Shatley center, and then Scherf, Anton. See from there, you can even get more creative with ETN runs in space now. So I'm just glad that even though they bolstered the trenches. So as a football team, even if you didn't make both sides of the ball better, you made one side of the ball more stable for a 6th round pick. So I'm just like these are two real like between the Ridley trade last year on the deadline and then this trade this year, this has been very good. Like getting necessary pieces where you need to improve, wide receiver and offensive line, both to help Trevor too, helping him make those next few steps, which is huge. And
Yeah.
we're trying to you're seeing the benefits reap, obviously Calvin had that good game, has a good season so far. So, it's very exciting to see. And despite the fact that you'll still have to watch that Guru, it's there's vibes are still not at an all-time high, but pretty high.
Yeah, I mean, but 6-2, best record since '99. I was 2 years
I
old the
was
last
not
time.
even alive.
He said, "I'm not even." I was just
I
a
wasn't
thought.
even
Yeah,
conceived.
you were a thought. You weren't. You weren't even here. You were just an idea. That's fucking wild. That this is the like. Look, we're wearing logos from like the time that we
Yeah, we're
were.
wearing logos back from the time the Jags were good. So
Hey,
that goes
man.
to the last time they were 6-2.
Crazy. Honestly, very, very wild that we're here now. And like I said, we kind of nitpicked a few things, but we're 6-2. What the hell? How did I don't know, just when I go back to the way we lost those two games against Kansas City and Houston up to the five straight wins now, you can definitely tell there's a lot of confidence, a lot of camaraderie inside that locker room. Just the belief has always been there. I mean, it goes back to last year too. We were like 2-6, 3-7 at one point. It's just rally the rest of the way. So the belief was always there. But the fact that we got to see it again and so soon instead of, like to the death, it's very, very nice change of pace compared to Jaguar seasons past.
Yeah, man. Just even though we're 6-2, fans will still be mad. Some fans will still be mad at Bulky and Press, but it's a good weird place to be in, and it's just crazy because before the season started, if you would have said the Jags are 6-2, I would have been like,
Fuck
yeah,
yeah.
like this
No,
is
I was
great,
like,
but
yeah,
like
fuck yeah,
I
I'll
was
take
like,
that.
I would have been like, like I think the way we got here is just so
Not
chaotic.
yeah.
The-
So
like
unconventional. Oh, the
this is the
defense is
mo
better than the offense. Wait,
this is
you're like, wait. Time out. What do you mean?
if I would have said the Jags 6-2, I would have thought that Trevor would have had like, you know, 17 touchdowns already. I would have thought like he would have been like offense would have been putting up like shootouts every game. But
Yeah,
no, they
it's the
just flipped the script on
defense.
his head, which I'm like I said, I'm not bad
I
about.
kind of
It's
prefer that because it just means, oh, the offense is primed to be like, where is that game where Trevor Lawrence just, gets
goes
that
off.
400-yard, five touchdown game and we win by like 50. And it's like, oh my God,
I know it's dude,
yeah, I'm just we're waiting for that game where
it's
we
gonna
just,
it's
yeah.
gonna be a home, bro. If it's a prime time game,
Oh, God. Don't
which
even,
he
it's in
should have
December.
had he should have had a primetime game next week on Sunday Night Football, but
Fox, you're a bunch of hoes. Yeah.
They wanted to put Aiden O'Connell. Well, actually,
Yeah,
I
Aiden
kind of want to see
O'Connell
Aiden
and Zach Wilson.
O'Connell. I do
AOC.
not want to see Jack. I do not
That's
want to
not
see
the
Jack Wilson
AOC
on
I
my
want to see in my
television
TV
screen.
screen. That is not the AOC that I want.
It's just I'm sad. If that game was on prime time, I might have been able to go, but I don't think I'll. I don't know if I will make it in time. But dude, I know that's the thing. It's just the Jags being like good, but in the most unconventional way possible. Like national media is just like quiet. We've been on a 5 game winning streak, and people think the pass defense is a hope defense. It's hilarious. Like
No, like, come
actually,
on, just all right, bet. No, seriously, just bet. Don't keep respecting us. If I legit hope that I think there was a clip yesterday from another FS1 show that's not hosted
oh
by Nick
yeah,
Wright.
it's like
That was like,
Chris.
basically trashing
It's a
Jacksonville.
Jets
It's like,
fan. It
yeah.
was a Jets. This dude has to watch Zach Wilson. Of course, he's miserable about football. If
Zach
I had
Wilson
to
every
watch Zach
Sunday.
Wilson, well, speaking of Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, dude, did you hear that Frank Gore is gonna come to Jacksonville for like the free tailgate?
It's funny, we
Dude,
should all storm to the
I
Niners
want,
tailgate.
I want
I'll
to
show
go.
up.
I want to go so badly. I'm like Frank Gore, thank you for change. I
Oh yeah,
want.
you
I
you you've been asking for this and it's gonna happen in a couple of
I
weeks
just I just wonder if he knows like the impact he had. Like
on the city.
if he realizes how much he changed everything.
I
with
think he
his
does. I think
play.
that's the reason why he's here. I think that's the only reason why. It's like, wait,
He
the
knows
both two, yeah.
he knows he can get if he knows he can just get like free drinks every time in Jacksonville, guaranteed. He just needs to walk into a bar, and every time Trevor Lawrence is playing, he's like, "I'm the reason that he's here," and then you're like, "All right, free tabs on."
You need to eat, drink anywhere. Yeah, Frank Gore deserves that. He deserves that here in Jacksonville for sure.
Can we put him in the Pride, even though he never played here? Can we put him in the
The
Pride?
first team to put someone else in the pride. Him and Braden Mann. Just
Just
him and Braden Mann. Just those two
it's
together. The
like how the
punter, yeah.
Heat. It's like how the Heat retired Jordan's number, even though he didn't play.
I don't know, man. Not even the Magic retire numbers, which is crazy.
No, but just I'm glad that vibes are good. We'll see. Obviously, as a fan, people are still a little bit nauseous because with the Jags, you're always kind of like, when is the optimism going to stop? But hey, let's just keep going. Let's keep winning as much games as we
Oh,
can.
I
And
hope it never stops. I hope we have this optimism up until February. God willing, please. Can you imagine?
I I think is I know it's possible. Like, just watching this team and
You don't
how
want to
good.
believe it sometimes that we are
Yes,
putting ourselves in a
it's
spot to
like,
where the
dude,
AFC could run through
we're
Everbank
tied for the
Stadium.
best record. We're tied for the
Yeah,
best record in the
four
AFC.
teams are there right now. So it's
Like,
legit.
it's up for grabs, and it's crazy because I remember, like, like, the plan was always, after Urban, I was like, okay, like, the Doug year plan was always year one of the Doug year, you know let the team kind of go through growing pains, and then year two is like take off. And now that, like, it's actually here in my face, I'm just like, is this real? Am I dreaming? Like, there's just
It's
so much positivity and optimism around the Jacksonville Jaguars that I'm just so utterly confused. I'm just not you.
You chose
I'm
this
just
team in the middle of Blake Bortles' era of football, and you're not even from Jacksonville, Jamal. People would call you insane, like, wait, you're
I
from
am
Broward,
insane.
you didn't
That's
choose that your friends, yeah, so your friends didn't tell you to support the Dolphins. Like, all right, want another team. Oh, this team has cool colors, and I guess they're kind of close by, so I can kind of, go to games if I ever really want to.
I've been
And
so
Blake
just
Bortles was quarterback.
accustomed to torture and misery that I'm just watching, like, a competent like, good front office moves, a
Which is
team that
crazy because we kind of bullied him we wanted him fired like not
I
even
mean,
2 years ago.
some people
Still
still
do,
do.
yeah.
So
But
it's
but people just want better, which I understand. I'm in that kind of mentality
you
too,
you
but
always want teams to, be the best, to make every move you can. Like, it's
mhm.
Madden, which I get that.
Madden ruined our minds, but I get it.
It's
Madden is
just
fun when it's on.
like, there's like a part of me that's just like, always expect, I'm just like, I'm just like, I wouldn't be surprised if something dumb happens again, but at the same time, like, the team's playing on such a roll.
And this team has overcome so much dumb shit over the past
That's yeah,
month of
that's
football. That's the thing.
it doesn't even feel
Yeah.
fake because they're playing bad and still winning. Like,
Not
they've
even
went
bad. Yeah, they just
they
had
well,
moments.
they've played
Yeah.
sloppy.
Yeah.
Pause.
Okay.
But
I don't want to say yeah, sloppy is better than bad because we've obviously won games. You can't be
they,
bad at winning games.
yeah, they've
I mean, I
they've
guess the Steelers can. I would say they're better.
yeah,
They won games, yeah.
mm,
But hey, because Trevor still put up 290. ETN's been scoring touchdowns every week. Ridley is, he got his production last week after like people were criticizing the joke. Oh, why is Ridley not getting involved in the Saints game? But whatever the game plan is, the game plan has to work.
and then, just I think it's just crazy because, there's like a cycle in the NFL. Like, first you lose, like, ugly, and then you lose pretty, and then you win ugly, and then you win pretty. You know,
Mhm.
Or, like, stages. So at first, the Jags just losing ugly, and then, they had some pretty losses. They looked like they were, like, if things went this way, they could have went no competitive losses. And, now they're winning ugly games. Because they're still making some mistakes. It's not always fun to watch sometimes,
Oh,
but they
yeah,
get the job.
If you watched that first half last week, I'm gonna be very vulgar. I legit told my brother this is like a needle to your fucking urethra watching this fucking team sometimes because we're in the red zone or we're approaching the red zone and you're gonna call a freaking shovel to the tight end or you're gonna throw a pick in triple coverage when you're at the 5 yard line. Like, come on. Like, it shouldn't be this hard to just put games away, you know?
You
Uh,
know, they're winning a lot of ugly games right now, you know.
mhm.
And I think the crazy thing is like once they start to win pretty, then it's like okay, they've officially arrived, and then they're here to stay,
Yeah,
you know.
until that's the thing though. I don't think I mean I don't care what other like national media or whatever say because honestly we're the people that watch this team every single week. But until they have that big Trevor Lawrence day that we talked about earlier, and they win by like 20 against a team like I don't know, but since Cincinnati, since they made the Super Bowl like a few years ago, if they do that against Cincinnati, then they're not gonna get the respect that they honestly deserve. But I kind of like the mentality of people are still downing you and you're 6 and fucking 2.
I think the
Yeah,
team,
that yeah.
I even Trevor's like saying they haven't won anything yet. The team knows
Hmm. What the
that
end goal
people.
really is. Yeah. And they don't respect us and they probably never will. And the only way that they can earn that respect is if you get to the Lombardi trophy in February and take it home. That's legitimately the mentality in the
Oh,
building.
dude, it's crazy because it's not impossible.
It's
Uh,
legit and it's in
just
our hands. It's legitimately in our hands. We the Jaguars
you
have the opportunity to take it into their hands.
don't give me hope.
I know.
I just give me a hope defense.
Hey man, if that hope defense keeps hoping its way to February, then please,
Then
I'll
give me.
take it.
It's like I'm still like a part pessimist, but then I'm also willing to just go like full optimist. Like I'm ready to get my heart either broken or either
Yeah.
one way I'm going to be crying, or it'd be
Yeah.
tears of joy or tears of sadness.
Hey man, I'm supposed to be the optimist. It's crazy because I
Yeah,
said it
I
too
still have
last week. You know, whoever chose a loss, usually we don't, but hey, we broke that in this podcast last week. So hey, the vibes, like I said, vibes are good. Could it be perfect? Yeah, it's not perfect, but
we could
just
be
like
eight and
life, it
0.
never truly is.
We would be 8 and 0, and people would still want fans to trade for pass rusher.
I want Max Crosby.
we
Boo.
we
Give
could
me Daniil Hunter.
we could have been eight
Boo.
and 0, blowing teams out, and people would Chase Long could still have the same like win rate, and
Yeah.
people would just be like, yeah, trade for another pass rusher. Nothing would appease the fan base.
I know, but hey, man, he was also part of the towel stealing and towel waving. So shout out Chase on for getting what we
He waving
want.
the towels. It's just like,
Waving the towels like this. Oh no,
look,
like oh, can we turn this AFC South champions to AFC champions though? That's really
turn
the
into a
goal.
Super Bowl
Super Bowl
champions.
champions, the heck,
We gonna go
that's
to a Super Bowl.
and we go win that bitch. Oh, I hate
Bro,
that
listen.
motherfucker. I'm not gonna mention his name unless we see him. But hey,
He's there's worse guys in the NFL.
mm, nah, he's still pretty up there and
He's pretty
terrible
scummy,
people in the
but
yeah,
hated
he's
he
pretty
did
scummy.
hated cheat on his baby mama, but at least he didn't go to massage parlors, so could be worse.
Oh boy.
There's
Uh,
there's there's worse villains in the NFL.
I guess you're right. We got to see Mr. Massage Parlor later on in the second half of the season
Oh
too.
yuck! Well,
I hope we have the
will we see him on the bench? I don't know at this rate.
yeah,
It might
it
be
might
PJ
be
Walker
yeah, but like I
or
said, either
DTR.
way, I'm not scared. I like it's weird. I feel like if we get past the Niners and we win, you're not really scared of anyone else
I
along
mean,
the way.
even we'll see because the Niners obviously have a bye week too. But I mean, Brock Purdy he has not been cooking.
Yeah, he's been terrible in
Uh,
the last month of the year or last month in the
I
NFL
mean,
so far.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if it's just the defense figuring him out thing or if it's like a fallen regression because
Oh, because he doesn't
people.
have Debo, doesn't have your security blanket. He'll be back, so that's that
But I
excuse
mean,
will go
so
out the
at the same
window.
time, as long as hopefully, I mean, I think that's going to be just obviously you can kind of. I don't talk too much about the preview, that'll be a very good measuring stick in terms of fully
where
healthy
we're at.
Niners versus fully healthy Jags, you know.
Yeah. And like I
And I
said, it's
mean,
like the Steelers don't complain, like, oh, you did it to Mitch Trubisky. Like, we didn't have Tyson Campbell or Andre Cisco back here, arguably our two best secondary players. Like, so what can you do? Hey, it's the NFL. Everyone's playing hurt. Everyone's not going to be healthy, or not everyone's going to be 100%. You take it as they go. And, well, just have to wait and see.
well, we will see. You know, just another. We'll have a bye to kind of recap, and from then on, it's football. So it's crazy. Like in the past, when a bye week comes, I'm like, yes, the Jags can't let me down this week.
And I
But
know
now I'm
they
just like,
work scheduled me to actually work on a Sunday, so I'm going to be missing the Dolphins and Chiefs game, which I'm kind of a little upset about. But hey, I'll take it as I'll just relax for 1 week. My heart deserves it after the last few weeks.
yeah. Now it's weird. It's like I'm a little bit sad. There's not a Jags. I'm like, damn. Like, when's the next game again? Like,
I'm
I'm
not
looking
sad at
for.
all. My heart needs a fucking rest,
Yeah,
man.
that's
My
fair
heart
too.
cannot take the heart attack that this team can do sometimes to me.
That's very fair. Well, yeah, I guess we'll see. I guess maybe probably do a game preview for next week if we can.
Yeah.
Preview the 49ers game. See like after the team starts practicing again. But John, my God, what's the score of the Newcastle game right now?
It's 2-0 Newcastle. Miguel Almiron scored in the 26th, and then Lewis Hall, he legit hit a goal first time. The ball didn't touch the ground. He just hit it in the air and it went in. So that's why you saw me going wild, because he scored a absolute beauty. Left foot, bottom right corner, just fantastic goal. You won't see any better in the Carabao Cup today, probably. But how about your Miami Heat? How have they started the season, since we can kind of off track now?
Okay, so it's time to end this pod. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you to all the Jagged Edge faithful
Oh,
out
no,
there.
no. Hey, man, my team's also
Um,
struggling a bit recently too. West Coast trip. So, no, legit. I legit only saw the Celtics game last Friday, I believe. So I have no idea how your Heat have done since then.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh boy.
All the this I think
We
because
have
the
to be
Jags have
sad
been.
about something because the Jaguars have been too good,
Yeah,
which
and
is
like the
weird.
as a sports fan, I'm like the Jags haven't let me down this year. I have to be pessimistic about something. I have to be upset. Like something has to piss me off irrationally. So I've taken all of the negativity from the Jags and I just put that into the Heat and UCF this year. So
Yeah, but you
the
can't really
Jags are.
blame UCF. It's their first year in the Big 12. That's always going to be a struggle when you move to a new
I
conference.
mean that, but the Baylor game was an absolute atrocity to
Oh yeah,
mankind.
no, that was pretty bad. I
I was
remember
there.
28 to
The
nothing,
only
right? Wasn't
thing
it?
it was, dude. I don't want to talk about it, but that was if it wasn't for the Chiefs game, it would have been the most painful loss as a sports fan this year. But
Okay,
um,
fair enough.
but yeah.
I can't
So
say the most painful non-Jags loss has to be when Newcastle lost 2-1 to Liverpool at home after Liverpool got a red card inside that same match. So that was probably the most painful I felt. Because the Magic, they kind of lost the nightmare game against the Lakers, because honestly the refs kept them in it. As much as I say, oh, refs, 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 you know how sometimes NBA refs can kind of favor big markets in some like games where home team crowds in some games. It was just kind of the game. Let me see if I can pull up the numbers real quick, where we only lost by 3 and there was just a lot of like foul calls against the Magic, and Lakers kept getting to the line. Anthony Davis, LeBron, all that bullshit.
are you
I don't
surprised?
know. No, I'm not surprised. It's just life as a Magic fan. I mean, it was always play in or bust, I guess, for Orlando this year. But yeah, no, I can't be. Yeah, see, I can't even use a free throw excuse, because we both shot 18 free throws, and the Lakers made one more than we did. But the Magic were so awful in free throws last night that I had to turn off the game early. Yeah, the Magic and NBA basketball teams shot 19 of 33 from the free throw line last night. 57.6% from the free throw line last night, and we lost by 16, and you left 14 points off the board off of free throws. So
Well, Giannis did miss 13 free throws in a closeout game. He lost by like 3 points, so it happens to the best of teams. But it's been about an hour, my good man. Anything else you want to say to the people before we head out.
The Jacksonville Jaguars and Newcastle United are absolutely fucking massive. If Newcastle loses game after I say that, I'm going to cry.
Manu scores 3 goals in like the last 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's Newcastle. You never know. That's crazy too, because Newcastle and Jaguars kind of had like similar mentality or similar places where they're just kind of floundering around for the longest time. Franchise quarterback, Saudi money, whatever you want to say, kind of helps revitalize everything around both organizations. So I don't know. I always choose pain and suffering my sports teams. So
That's
hopefully
real.
this one doesn't keep us pain and suffering much longer and it ends with glory, but we're only halfway through the season. It's a marathon, not a race, and we're only halfway through. Let's hope we keep the winning going. Javal, I hope you have a good rest of your night. If you're still watching, why are you still watching? We love you for this if you still
Thank
are.
you.
Like legit, thank you, much love. Bye week. I need to get a guest on soon, or if you have a guest, you can too. We gotta get someone else on. But to be fair, the two of us recorded, we've been undefeated since we have last had our guests. So I don't know. I feel like it's been a little bit too long,
You
but we've
said it,
also
not
been
me.
winning. But like I'm legit
We'll do
thinking
we'll do
about it.
we'll do a guess when the Jags lose.
Oh, I think that's fair. So if we just keep winning, we just it's just two of us for the entire way, right? No, you said it, not me.
I'll
So
I'll just
I'll take it
I'll keep doing everything in my power.
to keep
Never
it the
pick.
way it is to make sure we keep
To
winning
this
games.
day, every time I like do like ESPN pick'ems, I never pick the Jags to win.
Really? Is that like just a superstitious type of thing?
Yeah, just because like when I feel I don't I don't know like just to be safe, like I'd rather just it's the same way like
You'll take the handicap. Yeah, you'll take the handicap.
I
Yeah.
never look at field goals whenever I watch, even in person. I never look at field
You
goals.
don't?
That's just my superstition.
I dead just stare at him.
The last field goal I remember watching was the Brandon McManus missed field goal week 3. Ever since
Oh.
then, like I was like, that was the one. I legitimately think that was like one of the one field goals I saw this year. And then I watched that and I was like, this is not even making it. And I saw the other one got blocked. I was like, you know what? I am the problem. So
I'm not
that just
watching anymore. Okay, fair enough. I had no idea that
some
was like that.
superstitions. I don't want to break. I'd rather just take the small L for a Jag stuff.
Did you opt into the firehouse thing this week? Because McManus did make a 51-yard field goal.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
I have 2 for 10 or 2 for 15 if I want large sandwiches waiting for me, which I'll probably use tonight for
Shout
dinner.
out to
So
Firehouse, friend of the pod.
I know
Hopefully.
local company, Jacksonville, man. So gotta love it. They love the Jags, and we do too. But once again, guys, thank you for watching. We're gonna go on with our days. Hopefully Newcastle can hold on in the last 35 minutes. So at least I have another thing to be happy about, which it just sounds so fucking spoiled. But we were complaining about the trade deadline process the entire way from Sunday to now. But not really complaining, but pass rush help. The defense is still good, so hopefully it just stays the course, honestly, as we get healthier. So anything else you want to say before we log off today, Javal?
Y'all gym yet?
Hmm?
Y'all gym yet?
Oh, look
I
at
didn't even go to
that.
gym.
Promoting the brand, man.
I didn't
You
even
need
go
to
yet. I'm fraud.
you need to rock the brand one time. But hey, we're a Jags podcast.
I'll make Jags colors
Ooh,
soon.
teal colors. Yeah. I mean, if I go to the gym again, that's the gym outfit right there for me. I need
Uh,
to. I New Orleans still fucked me over with my weight, so I do
fine.
need to go back to the gym.
I'm on the stew. And by the stew I mean the Photoshop. So I'll be with that soon. But yeah, I guess that's it. Just shout out people watching. Jags are good. My expectations are in a weird place because they're very high. Can they get much
Damn,
higher?
we'll see.
Can we get much higher?
I gotta hope so.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
we'll say we get to relax for 1 week until we're back into looking at matchups
until the
again.
cardiac cats are back.
Exactly. All right, everyone. Have a good rest of your night. Javal, thank you again for joining me. Much love as always. And we'll see you guys for the next one.